Today is July the 12th and it's time for another garden update video. So today I'm going to start with the tomatoes. You can see right here we have a cluster of cherry tomatoes. You can see some of these are already changing color. We actually harvested some of these last couple of days. There have been some that actually have already ripened, and I'm pretty excited. We see more of them on the way. That applies both to the cherry tomatoes that I showed you just now and also some of these bigger tomatoes over here as well. So for example, you can see some of these are starting to change color. The black ones, they are kind of green on the underside, which eventually ripens to a red color. So like you can see this one, for example, is changing color. And there's another one down here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so this one is actually ready for picking. So I'll be doing that once I'm done here. So I've been coming to the garden every day last few days to look for more tomatoes that are ripening, because I've already had several that we've already harvested and been using for ourselves as well as sharing with some of our friends. So next area over here, we've got the sunflowers. So see, big difference between now and last week is we've got a whole bunch of flowers that have bloomed now. You can see attracted a lot of bees, and we've got a couple of different varieties. You can see this one, and then over here colors look a little bit different here. You can see more here, and then way up here, this particular plant is much taller than I am now. So it's growing like crazy, which I think it's a good sign for the soil quality here. Maybe not such a good sign for some of these other plants. So you might recall I had some green beans planted down there, which unfortunately there's not much I can do about that other than learn from this and plant them a little bit farther apart in the future. But the tomato plants here, you can see, are plenty tall enough themselves to get sufficient sunlight. And actually now we see, yeah, there's more tomatoes that are ripening every day. You see another one over here. This one I think I'll leave a little bit longer. So you see it's still kind of green. But yeah, very soon we should be reaching that point where we actually have more fruits and vegetables than we know what to do with. So probably be donating quite a bit of those and giving them out to friends. So these plants over here, the stalks, we're still waiting for them to thicken up a bit. Have harvested more of the leaves. The cabbage here, there are a couple of these. I think this one in particular, they're getting very close. I mentioned last week that I might be harvesting them. I still haven't done so, but still waiting for them to firm up a bit. But I think very close to that. What I might do is harvest one of these just to see how close we are, and then might end up harvesting the rest in quick succession. I think this one over here is also one of the more closer ones to harvest time. Over here, we've got more of the cucumbers. Yeah, unfortunately, it's probably been a bit lazy with supporting them. There are a couple of other ones that are doing a little bit better as far as getting them to grow vertically. I haven't actually seen any cucumber fruits emerge yet, but plenty of flowers, so hopefully that'll be happening soon. Some of the peppers over here, yeah, these ones, see very high yields on this particular plant right here. Waiting for these to just ripen. We've actually had a couple of other peppers over here that we started to pick. I think they're closer to ripening, some of these yellow ones. And then these ones I've mentioned in the past are supposed to turn red when they ripen, and we've already seen a couple of them that have done so. So we'll continue to kind of watch those as well as the tomatoes. Speaking of the tomatoes, this plant right here, which I actually put in later than like the big tomatoes that I started with, yeah, also bearing plenty of fruit now, including some very large ones, as you can see here, as well as over here. Nothing ripened yet, but continue to keep an eye out for these as well. The green beans, you can see that we've got two plants where the vines have actually been climbing up this stake, and then I put up a taller one over here, and it's continuing to do that as well. Again, no pea pods that are visible yet, but hopefully very soon. Snow peas have been very productive. I've been harvesting them almost on a daily basis. You can see like this one right here is not quite ready, still small, but probably tomorrow or the day after it'll be big enough to harvest. So not a whole lot of plants, so in total it's not a whole lot that they're producing, but you know, this is a good sign for the future. Next year I do plan to put more of these into the ground. We can get, you know, nice big harvests all at once. Okay, moving over here. Unfortunately, the Thai basil, all three of these are dying now. Not sure what we did wrong, but yeah, it could be just a case of these are harder to maintain than other plants. Yeah. And then likewise with this tomato plant, kind of same situation. We put this one in later as well. This is the one where it actually had split along the main stem. I was concerned that the plant itself might be dying, but looks like we've been able to save it, and you can see lots of tomato clusters on this plant as well. And then the one next to it as well. So we've got a whole bunch of different tomato varieties. Been doing a better job of pruning, so making it a little bit easier for myself as well to get access to these for harvesting. Otherwise, you know, it becomes a big tangled mess. It's hard to actually check which ones are ready for picking. I think last thing I'll show before I end the video is the lettuce. So these have been doing great for us. Harvested them again in the days since the last video, and they're still just growing back very quickly after each time. So already got plenty of bang for our buck with these plants. And in fact, this one is the one that actually emerged out of the ground much later than the others. This one I don't believe we've harvested yet. But the others, yeah, we were on at least 4 or 5 different harvests already, and continuing to get more. Yep, so that's it for this week. Be curious to know just how tall the sunflower plants have grown by this time next week. And what I predict will happen is that we should get a lot more ripened tomatoes that we can show you next time.